I want to call this Tribal Council meeting for August the 15th to order. Melvina, would you give the invocation, please?
Ora galandi he he John Legend Dande Kisi Atino Kosan he Niona de Dostan Hill did away the Hando Gilamstone, huh? Also, Lohi a Jelegis God. Father, we just thank you for this evening, for all your blessings that you have bestowed upon us. I just ask that you be with each and every one that's here today and give them a safe travel. We thank you for everything. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Shelley, will you do roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Keith Austin.
Here.
Danny Callison.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Sean Crittenden.
Here.
Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Rex Jordan. Johnny Kidwell.
Here.
Daryl Legg.
Here.
Wes Snowfire. Dora Petskowski.
Here.
Joshua Sam.
Here.
Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith.
Here.
Kendessa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right, if you've had a chance to review the minutes, could I have a motion, please?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, first off, with our State of the Nation address is Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin, Jr.
LCO, Mr. Speaker, members of the council, it's an honor to address you again to update you on the state of the nation from the perspective of the executive branch. One announcement that I visited with a number of you about, and I appreciate the support, is for the proposed career readiness campus here in Tahlequah. I think it's really amazes me the work of our career services department. Year in and year out, day after day, they do a lot to help our people find a path to prosperity, and to be able to create a career services campus here in Tahlequah, I think will be very impactful, and appreciate again the support the council has expressed. I know you'll consider the legislation at our upcoming Rules Committee meeting. One of the programs that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm always careful to say, I'm like most of our people. I don't speak Cherokee, but we have 2,000 fluent speakers left, and generations from now we want to have many more. One of the strategies to both support that effort and also to honor our fluent speakers, most of whom are over the age of 70, Mr. Speaker, is to reach out to them to see if we can help them with their needs. And our Speaker Services program has done just that. Really remarkable work in Howard Payton's department. Sammy Eagle is the director of that program. But since February, $1.2 million has helped elder fluent speakers with a variety of needs, from roof repairs to shower repairs, upgrading HVAC systems, things like appliances, a cook stove at a lady's house that I visited the other day. She's not able to cook for her family until she got that cook stove replaced. Doing what we can to make sure that our fluent speakers get to live in the dignity they deserve. One thing I would point out, Mr. Speaker, is this is on top of historic levels of funding for all Cherokee elders who meet the requirements of our housing rehab program, along with Cherokees with disabilities. So we are now putting forth, I think, more resources for housing, not just the Speaker Services Program, but all of housing, than any time in history. One of the great challenges we have, though, Mr. Speaker, as you know, as you and I have discussed, and I've discussed it with many council members, is making sure that we have those contractors out there that can do the job. And of course, back to career services, they are out recruiting those contractors. That is probably what constrains us the most right now, is making sure we have somebody that can do something as simple as repair some plumbing under a sink to replacing an entire home. We have a lot of need. We have a lot of resources to meet those needs, but that particular effort is constrained a bit by the contractors, the availability, but we are doing historic outreach to match our historic effort to fix and repair homes. Back to Speaker Services, over the next 3 years, we will spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 million on this program, and we think it will make a big difference in the lives of those fluent speakers. Last week I announced Community Impact Grants. This is another program made possible by this council, the Respond, Recover, and Rebuild Plan, which set forth some amount of money for our community partner efforts, our CCO efforts. So we've dedicated over $1.6 million to the community organizations across the Cherokee Nation and across the United States. So whether it's an at-large Cherokee organization or one of the CCO participating organizations across the reservation, they'll have an opportunity for grants for up to $25,000 to do a number of things that are important, from food security to building their own membership and doing public outreach, to doing all sorts of things that they do really well right now, but I think they can do it on an even grander scale with this funding. Our Housing Authority, I've mentioned, continues to operate a number of very successful and impactful programs, and one we highlighted since we last visited here in these chambers is the Help for Cherokee Homeowners Homeowners Assistance Fund, which will help those who qualify with forgivable loans when they're facing some difficult circumstances with their own mortgage. And information on that can be found at the Housing Authority's website, hacn.org. As you know, Mr. Speaker and council members, at your request and urging, we have reopened the clothing assistance for Cherokee citizens. So far, we have paid out about 63,000 applicants on those $150 payments. We have 66,000 that have applied, reopening it between now and the end of this month, or I should say until August the 29th at 5 p.m. We know we can reach hundreds, if not thousands, more Cherokees who didn't make that deadline, or they might not have been citizens at the time, because you do have to be a citizen to qualify for this program. We've had a lot of meetings across the Cherokee Nation Reservation and at large. Recently I was with Councilman Kidwell and Coates, and Councilman Smith was there as well at our Oklahoma City at-large meeting. Next weekend we'll go to Washington State and Oregon, and I know council members, you have planned other community meetings, and I really enjoy those. I know we all enjoy those, and one thing's for sure, we always get homework assignments, don't we, Mr. Speaker, when we go to these meetings. But that's good. That's what we are here for, and I think we missed that for a period of time, and it's good to have that back. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I know I've said this before, but I don't think we can say it enough. In urging the Cherokee people to be engaged and vote in the 2022 elections, particularly in the state of Oklahoma, but Cherokees, no matter where they live, will have an opportunity to vote this year. Here in Oklahoma, we have runoff elections August the 23rd. And these races are so important. They impact the Cherokee Nation. They impact our citizens. They impact our future. We have a number of candidates out there who support tribal sovereignty. We have a number of candidates who unfortunately are still looking at tribal sovereignty as some kind of problem to be solved, looking at McGirt as some kind of a threat to be eliminated, or just feeling that our reservation ought to be wiped away. Well, they might get away with it, Mr. Speaker, if we don't get out and vote. So I urge the Cherokee people, as I know every council member here does, to get out and vote, particularly on these runoff elections. Mr. Speaker, that concludes the State of the Nation. Whatever.
Thank you, Chief. All right, next, one of our most enjoyable things that we do here is our Cherokee Warrior Veterans Awards with S. Joe Crittenden, Secretary of Veteran Affairs. And we also have Barbara Foreman with Veteran Affairs.
Well, it's been a good day, and I'm blessed tonight, and as always, when we honor veterans, they represent 1% of our population that's served through the years. And tonight, we're going to start off like we ought to start off, ladies first. We have a lady in our audience. That's July the 11th, 1922, she was born. There's not that many ladies in the service. The numbers are increasing. But she served, and she served admirably. And she's from what we refer to as the greatest generation. So was my father, but he's not with us tonight. I told her earlier, wish it could have been that he could have been here. He would have been 98, a little younger than her. But we're going to honor Winifred Imogene Welchel Dudley, more lovingly known as Freddie. Freddie, can you come forward, please? All right. Freddie was born on July the 11th, 1922, to Earl and Mabel Welchel in Westville, Oklahoma. She spent her childhood near Westville, where she graduated from high school in 1940. Then in 1944, during the height of World War II, she enlisted in the newly formed Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. 1 year later, this auxiliary unit was changed to Women's Army Corps, which granted official military status to those women volunteers. This established as a groundbreaker for women in U.S. military active service. She served in the Army for nearly 2 years, working as a clerical worker, military postal worker, and chaplain's assistant. During her stint of service, she spent time in several U.S. Army bases, including Love Field, Texas, Wright Field, Ohio, Patterson Field, Ohio, Romulus Army Airfield, Michigan, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and Grenier Field, New Hampshire. Shortly after the war ended in 1945, she married J. Floyd Dudley, also from Westville, Oklahoma, and also a World War II Army Air Corps veteran. Jay and Freddie were married for 70 years until Jay passed away in 1996. Together they had 5 children, 12 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Medals: American Theater Campaign Medal, Good Conduct Medal, Victory Ribbon. And Joe Deere, Councilman, get up here, please. Forgive me.
I'm horning in.
Keith Austin, he's horning in, he says. So Keith went up when she had her surprise birthday party and was there with them, and I missed it. So he wants to be here when we honor her. In fact, in the picture, I wouldn't think it would be wrong for the whole council to get in the picture, but anyhow, Chief wants to say a few words.
Well, just briefly, in addition to this award, we are going to present Miss Dudley with the Patriotism Award at this year's Cherokee National Holiday. So we hope she'll come back and see us here in a few weeks.
And we thought with winter coming on, a good warm blanket might be in order. So we brought her a Pendleton blanket for a gift. We don't get to honor 100-year-old veterans very often. It's a blessing. Yeah, it's heavy.
It's pretty hot in here,
But she won't want it very long, boys. Sir.
Everyone look right here. 1, 2, 3. Heard that.
let's take that off so you don't get the, so that your temperature and your age don't match each other, okay?
Wayne? This is her too, sir.
Okay.
Look at your family.
She didn't burn up in there?
Yeah.
We can do it right here.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's, I'm gonna pass. I just get it off of him.
Just out a little bit. There we go. All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Keith, you want to say anything?
Oh, Miss Dudley,
Would you like to address?
would you like to say anything?
You want to say something?
Okay, well, would you
I need the microphone.
We don't have a portable mic, do we?
Come on back around there. Over this side.
This right here is what you're gonna get up to.
Okay.
Okey dokey.
Well, I want to thank you for everything, and my great-grandmother came over the Trail of Tears, and my grandmother was born in a covered wagon in the middle of the Red River at Flood Stage. And I'm just thankful to be a part of the Cherokee Nation, and this has been a great celebration tonight. I appreciate everybody that is here. I want to thank you for the blanket and for everything. Just thank you. We serve a great God.
Yes.
And He never leaves us nor forsake us. He's never seen a river He cannot cross. He has never seen a tunnel, a mountain He cannot come through. And He's going to take care of me. I don't care if I am 100 years old.
So we're gonna go back this direction. I'll be right here with you.
Well, as my brother used to say, well, glory. Our next veteran this evening is Michael D. Reese, and I'm told Keith Austin and Joe Deere is going to help with this too, right?
Yeah.
All right, come on up, gentlemen. Come up. Mr. Reese enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1986 and was sent to San Diego, California. He was transferred to Camp Pendleton to become a motor vehicle operator. Mr. Reese was assigned to Headquarters Supply Company 3rd Tank Division, Marine Amphibious Brigade at 29 Palms, California. In 1989, Mr. Reese was reassigned to Headquarters Supply Company 3rd Recon Battalion, 3rd Marine Division at Camp Schwab, Okinawa, Japan. At the end of his enlistment and touring overseas, Mr. Reese was honorably discharged as an E3 Lance Corporal in 1990. His medals, Good Conduct Medal, Letter of Appreciation, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, Rifle Sharpshooter Badge, and Mr. Reese, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you, sir, for your service to this country. All right. Did he say no?
He said he didn't want.
Oh, we don't, okay. All right. There's
on three. 1, 2, 3. Did you have anyone you wanted to bring down?
And I believe Dad's been honored before, right? Yeah. Sure does. Who's the youngest one here?
First
That's what, first grandbaby.
First grandbaby.
We can get a couple people on this side. Couple people on this side. Alright, on three. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
We need to give the medal to Chief.
Okay, huh?
You can pin him.
Okay. All right, if I could get at-large counsel Julia Coates and Johnny Kidwell to come and help with this one, please. Our next veteran is Michael M. Smith. Michael, would you come down, sir? Give him a hand. Mr. Smith entered the Air Force in '65 and was sent to San Antonio, Texas, then on to Biloxi, Mississippi, to become an information technology operator assigned to Goodfellow Air Force Base, Texas. Mr. Smith studied to become an IT operator. After completion of his training, he was assigned to a permanent duty station in Karamürsel. How do you say that? Karamürsel, okay. Pardon me. Air Station in Turkey for 12 months. Mr. Smith returned stateside in 1967 to Victorville, California, with his Tactical Air Command 831st Squadron until he was honorably discharged as an E-4 Sergeant in 1968. His medals: Air Force Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal. Mr. Smith, on behalf of Grateful Nation, thank you for your service to this country, sir.
Alright. On three. 1, 2, 3. You have family you want to bring down?
And my wife, sister, and niece.
Okay.
Yeah, there's parents. Those accounts,
Oh, okay. You want to run in here, man?
If you guys want to scoot up a little in the back. Yeah, better. Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
It's okay, it's all right. I don't think
You sir, you sure can.
I hardly know what to say, except thank you. It's nice to know that we have this backing here, and you're leaders of our nation, and we appreciate you, and we just thank you for all the good work that you do to help out all of our people and take a lead and protect us. Thank you.
Our next veteran this evening is also a marshal. It's Jonathan Ketcher. Jonathan, would you come down, sir? They didn't tell me who your council person is. You know what district? Fire? Callison. Mr. Councilman Callison would be your councilman, I would think. And I don't have a whole big lot of bio here either, Jonathan, so I apologize for that. But you joined the Marines in 2013 and you served until 2021, is that correct? You're Sergeant, Operations Chief, deployed 3 times. I was deployed once, so thank you for that. You done a job. You became an assault climber in 2015 for your first deployment. Tell us about medals. They didn't list medals either.
Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, good conduct, and 3 sea service readings.
That's it? That's plenty. You done good. Mr. Ketcher, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you, sir, for the service to this country.
He's got some sweet babies that want to get his photo.
Get on in. Down here,
Say cheese. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. You got it, girl. You're all right. One more. Sorry. You're all right. On 3. 1, 2, 3. You got it.
And our next veteran this evening also has a short bio. Now, he said he sent his stuff in, and I don't know if we lost it or what, but we apologize for that. His name is Philip Maines. Philip, come down, sir. You helped me out tonight. Philip served in the Oklahoma Air National Guard from 2003 to 2009. And by the way, Philip, tell me your councilman.
It's no fire.
No fire. Wes, come down. He was a civil engineer and tactical fighter crew chief. Philip, I know you done more than that now. Keep it easy? All right. What about your medals?
Anti-terrorism and Air Force Achievement Award.
Well, Philip, on behalf of a grateful nation, sir, I want to thank you for your service to this country. We appreciate it.
Philip, could you smile?
Congratulations, sir.
Right there? Fine. All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Speaker, that's all we have tonight. One of my favorite newscasters, he says, when he signs off, he says, thank you for the, what does he say? Something about your time. So thank you, sir, for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And congratulations, and thank you to all veterans who came tonight. It is an honor for us to have you here. All right, next we have action of unfinished business, none pending. Committee reports, monthly reports from our Cherokee Nation CEO, Chuck Garrett.
Good evening, Councilor, Speaker. Always an honor to be with you. Appreciate the opportunity to report on behalf of the 7,500 hard-working men and women at C&B. We are continuing to have a very, very strong year, as the Executive Finance Committee report that we submitted earlier this month indicates. Both of your business lines are running extremely strongly right now. Despite some of the economic, macroeconomic headwinds that we're reading about and experiencing, we are not yet seeing that impact our gaming and hospitality business, and certainly not the federal contracting business either. We'll keep an eye on it, of course, making adjustments where necessary on our gaming and hospitality. I think what we're seeing on the federal side is increased spending, increased support for different initiatives that the government is deemed important, and we're there to help in any way we can, whether it's with the Department of Defense and our warfighters, or whether it's in other areas. In fact, just to name one, we recently won a very significant contract with the IRS. As you may have read, the IRS is several years, in some cases, behind schedule in processing the returns that they receive. And so we've been hired to help streamline that process and help work with them to make that a smoother and more efficient operation. So we're very proud of the work we're doing there. One thing I might add, that we continue to need good men and women to join our company. We have a referral program for employees. If they refer someone that takes a job and sticks with us a little bit, it's a $500 referral program, which has helped over the years. It's a unique time with the workforce. After COVID, after lockdown, the remote work, and all of the uncertainty out there, as well as some of the programs that enable people to feel more secure about their income, I think in some cases may have had a lasting effect, and people feel very comfortable with their income, whether they have one or not. And so that's been a little bit of a challenge for us. And so any of your constituents that you believe would be of interest or would have interest, we welcome them, and we really need them. So be a great service to us if you could direct them our way. Just a couple of non-financial comments. It was really a tremendous honor for CMB to recently write a $10 million check to our Marshal Service, who we appreciate very much in all the work that they do. And it was a great honor for us to be of assistance to them. And we look forward to continuing that strong relationship. I mentioned the referral program. I just want to give it one more shout out, because it is very critical that we have a fully staffed gaming venues in particular, our food and beverage venues, which have not been able to come back full strength because of staffing issues. A couple of other announcements that I think are important and want to make certain I mention. The 27th Annual Cherokee Homecoming Art Show opened this past weekend at Cherokee Springs Plaza. And I just want to encourage everybody, when you get a chance to drop by, it's a remarkable collection of art, and we're extremely proud to host that again this year. The Cherokee Nation Film Office and the studio celebrated a grand opening in Owasso recently, and with a ribbon cutting. And I'm going to read to you just a little bit about the technology, because I don't fully understand it all, but once you go, and I encourage you to do that, it's quite impressive, and I think each of you would be proud to see what is going on there. But it is the state-of-the-art LED wall, which is about 80 feet long and 17 feet high, with a ceiling measuring 18 feet deep. And so they're really able to do some spectacular imaging on this wall that is unique, and really between here and Hollywood, not a heck of a lot of places that have that depth of technology. And so I think it's something that you all would very much enjoy. Lastly, on the business front, we're celebrating our 13th year as a Hard Rock. Back in '93, our Catoosa location became the flagship property for our portfolio of gaming venues, and we executed a licensing agreement with the Hard Rock brand, and it has really served us well. It was a good vision then, and I think it continues to be. It's a strong brand. It's a brand that's recognized worldwide, and I think has done a very good job of maintaining a high standard for their properties. I'd also like to brag a bit that we are consistently among the top performing Hard Rocks in the world, and so our team really takes a lot of pride in that. In fact, next month when I'm before you, I look forward to listing a number of the awards. This is kind of the award season for casinos, and we know that we're in line to once again lead the markets that we're in, and look forward to bragging a little bit more about our great team. So with that, I'll pause and look forward to entertaining any questions you might have.
Well, thank you for the report, sir. I have a question. You know, since for the last several years, I've sit here and watched our businesses grow and our casinos flourish, but it seems like there's been a battle in Arkansas that you guys have been fighting. You've done a great job of representing us and protecting our interests. Is there anything hopefully positive that you want to report on our Arkansas casino?
Yeah, well, thank you for the question, Speaker, and I appreciate that. And it has been a battle, and it's been an endurance test. You know, we have been in the trenches with hand-to-hand combat for 4 years. I mean, it's really been quite a test of tenacity. But I do have just some good news. Within the last 2 weeks, we've had some breakthroughs. You might know that the Choctaw Nation sponsored a ballot initiative petition. Spent several $1 million, in fact, trying to collect the necessary signatures to get a question on the November ballot. And it was quite a process. Of course, we were also out there in the field educating voters at what they were being asked to do. And I'm glad to report two things. One, first, the Attorney General deemed the ballot question to be ineligible and inadequate, and threw it out, essentially, would not allow that to go on the ballot because it was misleading. It failed to indicate that we had already won the license, and notwithstanding that fact, there had been a lot of misinformation spread across the state in an effort to collect the signatures. The signatures necessary to be collected were reviewed, counted, vetted, and just last week, the Secretary of State in Arkansas deemed them to be insufficient. Not enough signatures did not meet the benchmark required by the Arkansas Constitution. So we had a double win in the last 10 days. So where does that leave us? So now we have the site assembled, acquired. We know exactly where the venue will be. We have gone through the planning commission, the local planning commission that designates zoning, and we have received approval for the zoning. So we on the ground are looking really, really strong. We have some more engineering to do, continuing to design some aspects of the facility, but we have two court cases remaining. And they're, without getting into too much of the detail and our strategies behind them, let me just say they are Hail Marys. They are, rely on us not having the sufficient experience necessary to operate this casino. Last I checked, we have 10 casinos and been doing pretty well over the last 20 some odd years. So I think the courts will see through that, and we'll get the clearance, I think, in the next handful of months to move forward. And that'll be a proud day, and we look forward to having you there to do some celebrating. So thank you for the opportunity to update.
Yes, sir.
Council.
That's great news. It's been, like you said, it's been a long fight, and one that you guys have represented us and yourselves very well.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Garrett? All right.
All right.
Great news, good report.
Thank you. I
Good evening, sir.
appreciate the opportunity.
All right, next we have page. Under old business, we have none pending. New business?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, what's your amendment, sir?
This is a resolution approving an application to the Federal Highway Administration for Tribal Transportation Program Bridge funding, and I put that in form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do I have any announcements to my left? Candace?
Yes, I would like to offer condolences to the family, friends, and students of Cherokee speaker and longtime Cherokee teacher and educator Juanita Barnes, who passed recently from this life. She will be deeply missed, and thank you for the time, Speaker.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Anybody else over here? EO?
Yes, on Tuesday, August 30th, we're going to have a community meeting at downtown Black Gum Community Building. That's 2 miles from 10 Killer Dam. Everybody's invited. It starts at 6 o'clock. On another note, everybody in District 5 is very excited because Javier Ramos, who played at Vian and played at Sooners, was drafted by the Colorado Rockies, and that's a big event around here. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody to my right? Melvina?
I want to invite everybody to the Shop Pouch Annual Hog Fry, which is our 6th to 9th. But under sad note, the honorary of our hog fry, we lost my twin brothers. The one was December 12th, 2020, and this past February we lost the other twin. So we'll still have it in honor of them, and everybody's invited, and just bring a lawn chair, and Sean's been there and played music there before, so lots of good food. So everybody's invited. It's located between Jay and Disney, Oklahoma.
And when is that, Melvina?
August 28th, and we start serving by 12:30.
All right. Thank you. Joe?
I just want to talk about the passing of Sioux artist Joe Chamberlain. He was well known around the Tulsa area. And if you guys know Trail of Hope with sobriety, he was a big pusher of that with our Cherokee citizens. So he passed away Saturday night. So,
Keith?
Yes, I want to congratulate the Cherokee citizen Peyton Battenfield of Verdigris, who this week was called up to the Cleveland Guardians to pitch. And I don't think he's actually got to throw a ball since he was called up, but Friday was the first day he was able to put on the uniform and be actually on the roster. And it's an exciting moment for him, his family, and the community and the Cherokee Nation to have this young man representing us. I also want to recognize that 87 years ago today was the day that Will Rogers lost his life in Point Barrow, Alaska. And Will Rogers inspires me every day in many ways, but this particular quote, I think of it daily, and I think we could all use it. People's minds are changed through observation and not through argument. Thank you.
Councilman Callison.
I'd like to offer condolences to the Brent Crittenden family. Brent was a lifetime law enforcement officer and passed us earlier this week, his family, and offer our condolences to his family.
Julia?
I'd like to remember one of the leaders in our San Diego at-large community organization who was there at the beginning at the formation, Billy Falling, who was originally from Claremore area and had a real rough life as a child around here and wrote a very, very inspirational work from it and took a lot of learning from it and passed that forward. And he was a very, very special person. I'd also like to, Chief announced this earlier, but to again say that there are, Councilor Kidwell and I will be at some community meetings in Salem, Oregon, this coming Saturday, August 20th, and in Renton, Washington on Sunday, the 21st. So everybody in Oregon and Washington State, please come out and join us there. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? Okay, I'd like to honor Daryl Dude Feathers. Actually, he's my mother's brother. He did 2 tours of duty in NAM. He was a tail gunner, and the first tour he was drafted, and the second one he volunteered. So he went through a lot of stuff in that position. Once the shooting started, they have a life expectancy of about a minute. So, and he did 2 tours. So, I'd just like to honor him. On another note, I am also going to echo what Chief has brought up. You know, there's some very important elections coming up. On the 23rd of August, we have some runoffs. Be sure and tell everybody to vote. You know, there have been attacks against our sovereignty, and we need to support those who understand Indian law and support our sovereignty. And there are several candidates who have done that. So be sure and tell your family and your friends to get out August 23rd. Runoff voting is usually pretty low, so it's really up to us to advise people and see if we can get them out there. Okay, if there is nothing else, our next Tribal Council meeting will be held on Monday, September 12th at 6 p.m. right here. Gosh, you know, we're back in mass. Hopefully by then things will maybe slow down and we can get out of these things. But it's still great to see everybody here, and it's great to have the council here. I need one more motion. I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? All opposed? We are dismissed.